Okay, well that's cool. I mean, there's something to be said about like these niche communities that will come out to events too, and they appreciate it more, right? So like I remember like when we were doing our venue, there's the Guilty Gear players were the ones, the anime players in general. They were the ones that were like so happy that there was a place for them to play their game, and a place that like kind of respected their game, and have good setups and good facilities for. And even when we went to Sal Albus's funeral, it was the Guilty Gear guys were there, and they're super like excited for what we have in store for the future, or if we have any plans. So they're always like asking about that, and we haven't taken it off the table, but it's we definitely want to go into it again. When you do TOing stuff, when you do arcades or whatever in this modern time, it's harder because there's offline or online is so good with, especially with Korean internet. But I'm wondering, like, so I guess something to ask Alex is what are some of the, what is something that you feel goes the most underappreciated about tournament organizing? So like, I mean, you look at the online stuff and you're working in behind the scenes, you see everything, you see all the, all the budgets, where they go, who's doing what you need to do to get certain things to work. And then you have like the ultimate backseat drivers, which is social media, right? And you're seeing, their responses. Is there anything that you feel that the online community gets consistently wrong about how events are done or how events should be done?
Everything. I agree. I mean, underrated is obviously the staff that, it's a year-round job for me. It's 24/7. I get DMs. I get at least 10 to 20 DMs a day of just something event-related, right? So what's underappreciated is how available we have to be successful and to always be connected to people. But internet might not appreciate it, but the people that matter are the paying customers that actually attend the events, and that should always be your number one focus. There's been so many times where somebody says shit online and it bothered the hell out of me. And then somebody would be like, dude, just get back to work, like focus on everyone that's here. Because I used to be mad at people that couldn't show up, and now it's like, screw that. People have their reasons. Everyone has a unique life. Don't hold anything against people. They have their reasons and stuff, right? So I think what's underappreciated is obviously the time we have to invest as an organizer for the minimum wage that you would make, for the amount of time you put into an event, and hope that it's successful and hope you get the sponsors and stuff. And then guys like Tong, who's always working behind the scenes, but we do get our appreciation at events. Like I go to other people's events and I get stops for pictures and stuff, and that makes me happy. I wish I could charge for pictures and stuff, because then I wouldn't be broke. But, so I think it's just the amount of time that actually goes into each event. And what really sucks is you build into an event for 6+ months. The moment it's done, ghost town, and all you got to deal with is like paperwork and all the stuff that is boring and paying all the players, and and then it's quiet until the next time, right? But that also gives you peace of mind that you did a good job. Nobody's coming after you for anything. They're going back to their lives. And I used to say this reference when Evo was around. It's in its peak now, but back then when it was like the big dog, and then it was Evo, then everything else. But then it was like Evo, then CO like right here, then Combo Breakers like here, as they started in like 2015. But back then you'd go to an Evo, and this is what I appreciate about today in the career that I have. We'd go to an Evo. All right, guys, see you in a year. And that was it. And everyone went back to their lives. Now it's like, Evo's done. All right, I'm going to see you in Saudi Arabia for the qualifier, the next week. So it's like a year-round, process where we don't get to rest anymore. And I don't know, the early COs, I did a lot. I would break my back before I had guys like Tong and Luke and Andres down south helping out, like before I started really delegating. And I didn't really delegate until 2018 when I tore my Achilles tendon. I couldn't get around but within a wheelchair. And I had no choice but to rely on people. Back before then, I was running to get the medals, to give out the awards myself. I was running back, running between the building, checking the actual stream productions, making sure the streams were good. Now I have people for that. But like back then, I'd be exhausted. You'd find me sleeping in the rows at like 3 PM during CEO. Now I get my nap times in. You'll never know when, but I get them in. But it's like I can go sleep at night for a good 6 hours, and that's the greatest feeling, to wake up refreshed and go, day 2, let's get this. You know what I mean? So, plus Tong is not a morning person. He stays up till 5, 6 working. But during events, it's perfect because I'll wake up at 7, 8 a.m., be in the venue before anybody else, make sure everything's ready to go. And then 2, 3 in the afternoon when he comes in, he'll stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning, make sure everything's
taking
good.
the night shift. Yes.
It's a good dynamic in terms of the 2 top guys at the event.
Yeah.
And we have more help than ever. It's underappreciated how much work people actually do. But now that these events have gotten so big and you know what you need people to do, it's a lot easier. Back then, it's like, Alex, what do you need help with? I'm like, Now it's like we specifically sign the rules like a real event should do and stuff on have. But, none of these people are getting paid full time to work a weekend. But we try to pay people worth their time. Because back in the early days, man, people had to volunteer. Now you can't really have volunteers in any state. And that's what also bumps up the expenses.
Yeah.
Have no problems paying people if the event's successful. I give bonuses if it's successful. But when it's not, I still pay staff first, players first, and then whatever's left or whatever debt, I deal with it later type of thing. So I think that's the underappreciated is how much risk that event organizer puts into it. And so I wish we could accept tips and shit. But you got to do good in the other aspects like the merchandise and all that. It's a big business at the end of the day.
I kind of want to go back all the way to the first thing that you mentioned about like a TO should be able to do a DP 10 times in a row before getting into it, right?
It should be a license or like a qualification to become a TO.
Yeah.
You have to do like a combo trial or something.
Yeah. Remember there was like that esports exam or whatever.